Hello guys, Ryan Ho back with another video. Today we have a very special Audiophile True Wireless Earbud. This thing features a new type of driver which is called xMEMS, and this is supposed to play the treble region, in which it has honestly really low distortion. It plays it very accurately, and this is what they call a solid state driver. So a lot of times you can think about how we used to have these spinning hard drives. I mean, we still use them. Then we have the solid state hard drive. So this is kind of a similar type of revolution, except in audio. And these xMEMS drivers are actually so good that they're actually being used in hearing aids a lot because they're so precise and they play the treble so cleanly. So they actually have an application already, but now they're moving on to the more like audio market where it's general like goods and stuff like that. Now, the thing that's interesting about them is that they actually require a different type of amplification compared to normal. So they actually have special amplifiers built for them. So you'll probably see a lot of these in a lot of these like true wireless IEMs or earbuds a lot of times because of the custom solution. Now, I did review a amplifier that costs like $1,000 that could also power xMEMS drivers as well, but that's kind of expensive just to power an audio device. So this is definitely a more, I guess, better solution with everything built all into one. Now, the thing about this is as well is that it has two drivers. So it has a dynamic driver in here that's a 10mm. So it plays the bass and the sub bass and the mid-range frequencies, while the xMEMS is basically in charge of playing the treble, which it does a very good job. So we'll talk about that in further detail. The other thing that's cool about this is it actually has what they call aptX lossless. So if you have something that can transmit that Bluetooth codec, you can get up to CD quality music on your earbuds, which is pretty cool. So that has that capability built in with its new technology. So I think the combination of all that really does make this device kind of stand out as a good audiophile device for me to recommend. There's a lot of cool features. Now, the thing I actually like the most about this thing is definitely the build. Like, just look at how this thing has a see-through look. You can actually see through the case. I haven't really seen many things like that, and it to me is the coolest part about it. Now, if you actually look inside the case, it has this nice gold on it, and I feel like that gives us this really cool and sleek aesthetic. Like, it definitely is mesmerizing and definitely very different from other earbuds. And when you take it out, you can see the whole case is just kind of lined. I feel like this gives it a very premium look. Now, the case itself also has, the typical charging, the indicator, and then you also have a button to pair and everything like that. And then on the actual earbud itself, if you take a closer look at this, it really reminds you a lot of the AirPods. Honestly, I feel like a lot of people just copy the same design, which has been used for a very long time. Now, I do find a difference between these. The AirPods Pro is a little bit smaller. This one is a little bit bigger, maybe because it has the xMEMS technology in there. So it's a little bit slightly bigger, but overall they're pretty much very similar. They sit in my ear very comfortably and they don't shift around. So if the AirPods fit you, these will definitely fit you as well. Now, this has touch controls on it, which is very simple. You just tap it twice to change your music. You can hold it to, raise and lower your volume. So all the typical stuff you're looking for picking up your calls. But yeah, it also has the features such as noise canceling. So the noise canceling on this definitely works. It has transparency mode, and then it just has a normal off mode. Now, I compared it towards the AirPods, which is a more expensive device. It's $250. Definitely, if you're looking for the best kind of noise canceling and transparency mode, the AirPods can't be beat. Honestly, these are definitely a lot better. This one, I can definitely hear it noise cancels a little bit, as well as I would say like medium amount of noise canceling, versus I would say this thing is like very extreme, very good. And then when it comes to kind of the transparency mode, I can definitely hear a little bit of that like lower mic hiss I hear in a lot of kind of cheaper kind of transparency mode. So I definitely kind of hear a little bit of that on this one. But all the features do work, just maybe not the same refinement as something more expensive. But honestly, first and foremost, this is an audiophile device, so really you're going to be listening to music for it mostly, but it has those other features if you want it. And then of course, the battery life on this guy. So the battery life is 6 hours and up to 24 hours with the case. So really it's good enough for a lot of use cases. If you take a closer look at it, you can actually see inside of it. You can actually see the dynamic driver right through it because it's see-through. So let's talk about the app it comes with. So they have the Aurvana Ace 2. It has the Creative app. So you're able to kind of have your own equalizer. So I actually made my own equalizer, which will be important. But essentially, I lowered some of the bass because it's pretty bassy defaultly. A little bit too much, in my opinion. I mean, I think a lot of people will enjoy it, but it did, I'll talk about it soon. You also have the ability to control your different controls. So you have adaptive ANC, off, ambient mode. So you have, the ability to change those, and then you can also, change your buttons to kind of play, pause, and everything like that. So app is very easy. But really, when it comes to the sound, this is, the typical consumer sound, which is a lot of bass, which is really good, really fun, and really exciting. I think it's a little too much in the bass for me, in a sense of like, I think the mid bass is emphasized a little bit much, where it kind of mixes with the vocals a little bit and kind of, I guess, muddies it up a little bit. So I opted to kind of lower it a little bit near the 50 hertz. So if you want to do the same, I would definitely recommend do that if you find the bass a little bit overwhelming. But honestly, this is definitely a very bassy IM, and I think a lot of people enjoy that type of sound on this. Now the other thing about it is the overall sound quality, right? So you got that lifted bass, you have this really full mid-range with a lot of what I call lower mid-range focus, which means a lot of the male vocals kind of sound really good. They sound really forward, but probably a little overly forward. And, it has a very what people call warm sound. So there's a lot of bass, like I said. And then when you move up to like the treble region, this is where, you can definitely hear the drivers and the difference. Like I feel like the xMEMS driver, when it starts like kicking in the treble region, you can hear just how much more detailed it is in comparison to like the dynamic driver that plays the mid-range and the bass. I feel like the xMEMS is just like extremely more detailed than the dynamic driver. It's just like, it's almost like a stark contrast almost that you can hear of just how great it sounds. But really, the treble is played very clearly, very forward. I honestly can say that not really much can be changed on the treble region, where I think it's pretty much perfect for me. The treble is just like honestly so good. It's just so clean, so clear, so crisp. I think a lot of people really appreciate how good it sounds there. I feel like there's really no complaints on the tuning. I don't really hear any harsh peaks or anything. And the fact is, like, you can actually change the tuning with the built-in equalizer if you want to change it how it sounds. So that's always an option, right? Another thing I'd like to mention is that the bass of this is actually very dynamic. Like you definitely hear the bass when it hits. It's kind of nutty how well it kind of creates that kind of bass hit and that kind of vibrancy of the bass. So it really does a good job there. So the dynamic driver definitely is kind of pulling its weight. And I think that makes sense why they kind of paired the kind of xMEMS with a dynamic driver, because it just adds that fun instead of like, they could have put like a, what they call a BA driver that could have played it, but instead they chose for a dynamic driver, which I think was the right choice. Really, the shining feature really is that amount of detail. And I feel like if you had a device capable of transferring lossless, aptX lossless, that's honestly the best way to probably listen to this. Yeah, so the sound quality definitely is recommended. Maybe a little bit lower in the bass that you can adjust with the EQ, but overall, very good sounding. Easily gonna recommend this, especially for me being an audiophile, listening lots of, I can definitely approve of the creative Aurvana Ace 2. Priced at $130 right now, so it's on sale, and just normally priced at $150. So for that new tech and aptX lossless, I think is really good. So definitely, if you're looking to pick these up, I'll definitely leave a link down below if you guys are interested. Obviously, if you're looking for the best noise canceling and transparency mode, then the AirPods Pro is definitely a better buy. But if you're just looking for best sound quality, audio quality, this definitely is better than AirPods, especially in the treble region. I feel like it just has a better emphasis there. In terms of the bass and the mid-range, I feel like the AirPods just has a more linear type of sound, less emphasized. So you kind of hear more of the bass without it being overemphasized like this one. But really, if you're looking for the sound quality and the fun, I think the creative Aurvana Ace 2 definitely has it. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Please like and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.